Russian forces step up their bombardment of the capital of breakaway Chechnya. And a triumphant Georgia homecoming for Speaker Gingrich after his big week in Washington. This is the CBS Evening News. And this is Bob Schieffer reporting. Good evening. Russian army artillery pounded the center of the Chechnyan capital of Grozny today, but the Russian general who's commanding the troops surrounding the city was killed in a mortar explosion. At one point today, Western reporters said shells were landing in the area at a rate of 15 a minute. And Russian President Boris Yeltsin is promising no let-up until the region's freedom fighters give up their demand to form an independent country. We start tonight with Tom Fenton, who is in Grozny.
Grozny is burning from all sides tonight. The industrial area has been hit from end to end, and apartment complexes have fared no better. But it's the presidential palace, the symbol of 8 days of Chechen resistance, which is still the center of attention for Russian artillery. Most of the upper floors are burning, but so far Yeltsin's army has failed to bring down the Chechen flag. The way into this terrible place is narrowed now to a single thread of men scurrying along the devastated streets, across the railway line, through what was once a tree-lined avenue, and very, very quickly across open areas. We'll kill them all, says this Chechen fighter as he dashes for cover. It's been a bad day for the Chechens. While some of the hardened fighters are still hanging on in the center, the constant bombardment of the presidential palace is forcing many to pull back to what may well become a new front line here on the southern access road. People scattered as Russian jets roared across the city. Others threaded their way out of the hell of the front lines. A Chechen marksman covered their backs. There are Russian snipers everywhere here. Nervously, out through a desolate no-man's land to safety of a kind. Safety here is just another word for luck. There were no tears for the young man from Grozny whose life ended today in the debris of his city, just a pledge from his friend. For this one Chechen death, he says, we will take 100 Russian lives. Tom Fenton, CBS News, Grozny.
For those of the Russian Orthodox faith, this is the Christmas season, but it is a bleak time in Moscow, where the nightly television pictures of the carnage in Grozny are causing many to wonder if the Russian president is losing control of the military. We have a report on that now from Terry Phillips.
They bundled up their battered Russian souls and went to church for Christmas, trying to find some spiritual solace during a time of secular sorrow. Orthodox clergy invoked traditional prayers for world peace. No special mention of the war in Chechnya, but no need to speak what was clearly in everyone's heart. This season, the mayor ordered businesses in the center of Moscow to decorate their shops, trying to put a cheerful face on a city with little reason to cheer. It's a strange counterpoint to the dark pictures on Russian TV. The reports from Chechnya are grim. Much as Vietnam was for America, this is Russia's first living room war.
They are losing the living room war, and they're losing the war in Chechnya.
The reports from the home front are gloomy too. For the first time since the Soviet war in Afghanistan, zinc coffins are beginning to show up in Moscow, bearing the remains of young men killed in battle. Some families are doing what they can to help, sending care packages to their sons in the battlefield. Television news reports show the government has distorted the truth about the war, prompting President Yeltsin to fire the head of Russian TV. Many journalists believe Yeltsin is trying to destroy the messenger before the war destroys him.
And the messenger is definitely editors-in-chief and journalists. And I think for people in Kremlin, that's almost the same. The Chechen guerrillas and journalists covering this war.
Boris Yeltsin didn't attend Christmas services this year, further isolating himself from the public eye, a public which prays for peace, but is losing faith in the peacemaker. Terry Phillips for CBS News, Moscow.
A lot of politics around this country today. In Baton Rouge, delegates to Louisiana's Republican State Convention held the first straw poll for prospective Republican presidential candidates. The convention was dominated by the very conservative Christian right, and the winner was Texas Senator Phil Gramm in a landslide, a real landslide, 72% of the votes. Second with 12%, Pat Buchanan. Senate Majority Leader Bob Dole, who leads in most national polls, finished sixth. In Georgia, it was a hero's homecoming for Newt Gingrich, and Cheryl Atkinson starts there in her roundup report of the other political news.
Is it okay if I call you Newt?
Absolutely.
Great.
I'd be very concerned if you didn't.
Okay, good.
It was very nearly a love fest today as the new House Speaker spoke to the home crowd for the first time since his promotion. This was the first of 10 town meetings Newt Gingrich has scheduled in his home district with a very clear agenda, selling the Republican contract with America.
You may remember when this was a dumb idea.
And the Gingrich theme resonated coast to coast as Republican California Governor Pete Wilson was sworn in today for his second term.
We declare to Washington that California is a proud and sovereign state, not a colony of the federal government.
There was lots of talk of compromise this week, but it already appears battle lines are being drawn. President Clinton used his weekly radio address to push his own agenda of middle-class tax cuts.
The Middle-Class Bill of Rights offers opportunity, not a guarantee. It emphasizes personal responsibility, and it's open to all.
The terms of the debate over what to do about America have so shifted that one man who's used to getting attention is more off-center than center stage these days. Who can blame Jesse Jackson for feeling a little ignored?
I think that the Gingrich coronation deserves coverage because it has tremendous implications for our country. But this is important also.
This is a coalition that's starting an independent progressive movement to fight point blank the Republicans' contract with a covenant for America. The message Americans sent in the election may have been simple and clear, but as Congress prepares to resume work next week, the only clear thing is that the debate is far from over. Cheryl Atkinson, CBS News, Washington.
And still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, there's nasty winter weather over much of the country this weekend, and pomp and petroleum at Windsor Castle.
We do less all day than most people do before sunrise. No, this job isn't for everyone, but if you've got what it takes, maybe you can be one of us. The few. The patient.
The lonely.
Maytag. The dependability people.
I'll never go back to denture paste or powders.
Here's why. C-Bond Denture Adhesive. Two powerful adhesives in a soft, micro-thin seal bonds dentures to your gums, can hold comfortably all day. No mess, easy to remove.
You'll never go back.
C-Bond.
So people with severe dry skin really suffer.
That's why Vaseline developed Dermasil, which adds lipids. You see, lipids help dry skin heal itself.
Dermasil from Vaseline Pharmaceutical Research.
Dermasil lotion sounds like medicine.
It is medicine.
It's tough finding glasses that fit perfectly. So LensCrafters invented a new measuring system called AccuFit that measures the size of your face.
Well, 10, I remember that.
Once you've been measured, finding the right glasses is simple.
I like these.
Okay. The size is clearly marked on the frame, so you'll know which one is right for you.
Here?
Only LensCrafters has AccuFit. We're able to get the correct size the first time and satisfy the customer with the best quality glasses.
It's a nice fit.
That's what we do here.
LensCrafters, helping people see better, 1 hour at a time.
The National Hockey League's Board of Governors tonight has reportedly rejected what players said is their final offer that probably ends chances for a hockey season this year. The NHL made a counteroffer and gave players until Tuesday to respond, but the players, locked out by owners for more than 3 months now, say they will consider no counteroffer. Well, the new year is getting off to a wild start weather-wise. From California to the Carolinas, winter storms are wreaking havoc. David Colhane has our report.
Wherever you looked across the country today, it was miserable, often lethal weather. Tornadoes struck in several areas of northern and central Florida, injuring dozens of people and damaging or destroying more than 100 homes. The Orlando area was especially hard hit.
I know it was the power of God protected us because nobody got hurt. You look at that, I came out from under that.
Another part of the tornado system struck North Carolina, with winds registering as high as 145 miles per hour. 2 people were killed and dozens were injured amid the extensive damage.
It was so strong outside, we didn't know if the trail was going to turn over or what.
Not too far away in South Carolina, in the Spartanburg area, icy roads have caused havoc with traffic for the last 2 days, with 95 car wrecks in that one county alone. And in Northern California, a fierce series of winter storms knocked out power for more than 200,000 people and telephone service for many thousands more. More than a foot of snow fell in the northern Sierra Nevada area, and several feet more could follow through the weekend. Throughout much of the rest of California, rain and high winds caused flash flooding and mudslides, particularly along the coast roads. And new storms are expected in California later today. David Culhane, CBS News, New York.
6 people have been found shot and stabbed to death inside a condominium complex in the New York City borough of Queens. The 7th victim, a woman, survived after jumping out a second-floor window. She is in critical condition. So far, police have announced no motive and no suspects in the murders. Dozens of people turned out in the rain today for abortion rights rallies at 4 Boston-area abortion clinics, including the 2 in Brookline, where 2 workers were shot dead last week. Their colleagues mourned the victims while they prepared to reopen for patients on Monday. Diana Olick has a report.
As shooting victim Leanne Nichols was laid to rest near Cleveland, Ohio this week, her colleagues back at the Brookline abortion clinic where she was killed are still uneasy.
What time do you think I can come in? It's made me nervous and more vigilant and afraid for my own safety in some ways. We need people to not be afraid to work in clinics, and we need patients to not be afraid to seek safe and legal abortions.
Security is tight in women's health clinics all over the country. Metal detectors in Boston, security cameras and videotape in Milwaukee and Florida. And with tensions rising on both sides of the abortion battle, not only are those on the inside working in fear, but anti-abortion protesters on the outside are worried too.
A fellow was bringing a girl in at gunpoint and pulled a gun out on me.
Have mercy, oh God, have mercy.
These 2 anti-abortion activists narrowly missed the danger in last Friday's shooting at Planned Parenthood. They had left the front of the clinic for a few minutes to get warm. When they got back, they were horrified at the bloodshed. They prayed for the victims and now fear for the safety of those in their own movement.
I've been conscious for a long time. It could have happened anytime. We're out there in the open.
Innocent pro-lifers are going to get hurt, and some of them are going to get killed.
So far, anti-abortion activists say they've not lost any lives, but what the future holds for supporters on both sides is now more uncertain than ever.
I felt like it was a violation to all women.
A violation clinic workers and protesters say they will never forget as they go back to the business of fighting for their convictions. Diana Olick, CBS News, Boston.
Here's the latest. The deep-down cleaning power of Lysol joins the stain-removing power of bleach in new Lysol Plus Bleach All-Purpose Cleaner, an unbeatable bleach cleaner with 3 times more cleaners than the leading bleach cleaner to power out stains and tough dirt. New Lysol Plus Bleach, a superpower in cleaning.
You used to have to drag a shampooer home to clean high-traffic areas and do the whole carpet with all the hassle, the wetness, the waiting. Today, there's Resolve high-traffic carpet cleaning granules. Just shake on, brush in. Sponge-like granules absorb the dirt. Later, vacuum clean. Resolve high-traffic carpet cleaner.
Ew, sink's backing up.
Get out the Lysol.
Lysol doesn't unclog drains.
It does now.
Introducing professional strength Lysol Drain Opener. It sends more power through standing water than other liquids. It clears even tough, smelly clogs.
It got out the clog.
You did well.
Get out the Lysol that gets out the clog. New Lysol Drain Opener.
Now you can discover the flavor of Paris. One freshly brewed cup at a time with Folgers French Vanilla Nut Gourmet Coffee Singles. Coffee indulgently vanilla with a hint of hazelnut. Go on, enjoy.
I can't fall asleep.
I can't stay asleep. Try new Formula Maximum Strength Nitol to fall asleep fast and get a full night's sleep. New Formula Maximum Strength Nitol.
Nitol will help you get your Z's.
I'm Charles Osgood. It's music with dirt under his fingernails, music with calluses. There's no one better at it than Beau Jacques. Meet the master of Zydeco this Sunday morning.
It is not an elected office. The Constitution says nothing about it, and it does not require Senate confirmation. But the job of White House press secretary has become one of the most visible jobs in official Washington. And this week, the White House got a new one, Mike McCurry, a longtime political operative who's been serving as spokesman at the State Department. That's our Washington notebook. A new face, a new voice at the White House.
I want to thank the President for giving me what I think is the best job in Washington.
And among the toughest in one of Washington's great balancing acts, a presidential press secretary plays before two of the most demanding audiences in town, the White House press corps and the President.
He needs to both be a person in his own right, but at the same time almost transparent in the sense that he doesn't get in the way of the message. He doesn't get in the way of the president being the policymaker.
The last press secretary, Dee Dee Myers, was well liked, but many journalists never quite believed she had access to the president's inner circle. In other words, access to the information reporters wanted. McCurry didn't seem to have that problem as State Department spokesman these past 2 years, although he could be as brusque as any government official.
Russians OS-1 now in Bosnia, maybe?
Okay, anyone else have a question? Let's go on to another subject.
McCurry brought something else to the job, though, a sense of humor in what is usually a very dry place.
Ho, ho, ho.
Teasing late reporters.
Calling the Associated Press. The Associated Press. 1 minute warning, please.
Denying the U.S. is winking at violations of its policies.
I did not do that. Did you see me go like that? I didn't go like that.
The press secretaries most admired by both their bosses and the press combined access to the president, like Jody Powell, with a reputation for always playing it straight, like Marlin Fitzwater. Once either quality is lost, as happened during the Iran-Contra scandal, the press secretary becomes worse than useless.
As with Larry Speaks being sent out in effect by the National Security Council advisor at the time to tell an untruth, not knowing it was untruth, these guys are dead meat.
McCurry, who worked for presidential candidate Bob Kerry in the '92 primaries, seemed to say this week he'd been assured of the access he needs to do the job.
You supported someone else for the presidency.
As everyone said here, I've worked for a very long list of losers in my time. It's nice to work for a winner now. Yes. Thank you for feeding me that one.
Thank you, Mike, and we'll look forward to the bunny suit come Easter.
Does your scalp itch so bad you wish you could shampoo anytime? Here's a better way. It's Scalpicin, a clear liquid you can use anytime and don't wash away like shampoo. Scalpicin stays on, keeps working with the medicine chosen by dermatologists as most effective for deep scalp itch. Scalpicin stops itching, helps prevent flaking with itch medicine dandruff shampoos don't have.
Scalpicin, stop that itch fast.
Scalpicin, specific medication for deep scalp itch.
When we heard there's a hot cereal with crunch, we said, great. But how? Then we tried grape nuts cooked hot. Just add milk and pop it in the microwave.
60 seconds for a little crunch.
I want a big crunch.
30 seconds for a big crunch.
We thought all hot cereals were the same.
Mushy.
Yeah.
But not grape nuts cooked hot. All that warm goodness plus that hearty, nutty crunch make it taste so different, so good, so...
Now Mom's getting mushy.
Yeah.
Discover grape nut cereal cooked hot. Finally, a hot cereal with crunch.
So people with severe dry skin really suffer.
That's why Vaseline developed Dermasil, which adds lipids. You see, lipids help dry skin heal itself.
Dermasil from Vaseline Pharmaceutical Research.
Dermasil lotion sounds like medicine.
It is medicine.
Why compromise on a laxative? If strong and gentle is what you want, get Dulcolax. It's so effective, doctors recommend it more than X-Lax and Correctol combined. And it's gentle with comfort coating. Don't compromise. Get strong, get gentle, get Dulcolax.
With the Republicans now in charge, what will the Democrats' strategy be? Will President Clinton wield the veto pen? Vice President Al Gore faces the nation Sunday.
More than 90,000 people are expected to visit the Consumer Electronics Show this weekend in Las Vegas. Personal computers are center stage. now that the PC revolution has invaded 1/3 of American homes. We have more on it from Sandra Hughes.
The Phillips family is literally plugged in to the 90s.
I have to type up a lot of reports and stuff for my school, so I use the computer for that too.
2 home computers serve as entertainer, educator, and work assistant. But even an online family can find it difficult to keep up.
Do you ever get that feeling that you're just a little overwhelmed with all the technology?
Sometimes I am, because it takes a lot of concentration to really get the hang of it.
Who wouldn't be overwhelmed? Just take a look at the 1.1 million square feet of new technology at the Consumer Electronics Show, where the home computer takes up more and more space each year.
A chicken in every pot, a TV set in every living room, and a computer in every home office.
Authors Alvin and Heidi Toffler predicted the home computer surge in their book Future Shock. Even they are surprised at how quickly PCs have taken hold.
It's something that is, in a sense, inevitable, because human knowledge has reached the point at which we just can't do without them.
It's not just futurists and salespeople propelling this technological revolution. Last year, consumers spent more money on home computers than televisions. Much of that is due to the additional hardware that accompanies the basic computer. But keeping up with technology can be more than costly, it's confusing. That's why Microsoft's newest home computer program called Bob is grabbing a lot of attention.
Hi there. There is no need for a manual with Bob. You always just go to your personal guide, and your guide will give you assistance and let you know what options are available to you and what to do next.
Microsoft CEO Bill Gates made an unprecedented appearance at the Consumer Electronics Show to plug Bob. That just points up the increasing competition for the home computer dollar. By this time next year, manufacturers estimate more than 7 million families will plug in a new PC. Sandra Hughes, CBS News, Las Vegas.
I'm going to get one of those Bob computers. Hard on the heels of reported big sales increases for 1994, the 1995 auto show in Detroit opened to the public today. 45 companies have more than 700 cars, trucks, and minivans on display. Detroit's first show 88 years ago had 33 cars. China is home to millions of potential car owners, and the government and automakers alike are eager to put them behind the wheel. James Satori in Beijing has that.
In China, where the bicycle is transportation for the masses, the world's automakers are anxiously showing off and gearing up.
Everything good.
To design a new people's car, custom-tailored for families in the world's largest untapped automotive market.
Maybe in the future, I will buy a car of U.S.
But it will be built in China. Already there are joint ventures producing recycled foreign designs. Now the government wants a whole new industry which will boost the economy with the latest Western technology, efficiency, and safety. A new model with a target price of $5,000 or $6,000. A small fortune for a Chinese family, a razor-thin profit for Detroit.
The margins for discounts and negotiation, I don't think are going to be very big.
We think we've got some work to do still in better understanding what specifically to do for China.
China's drive toward a new automotive age has its critics who say a car for every family here could spark a worldwide oil shortage, not to mention worsen pollution and traffic, which is already near gridlock in many Chinese cities. But there's no rush to trade up from bicycles to BMWs in a country where most people earn $300 a year. Today, most of the cars in China are still government-owned.
Very, very few people dared to dream a car. But now, more and more young people think it is possible.
What's also possible, the government knows, is that building a people's car will mean more jobs, a new engine to keep China's economy from stalling. James Hattori, CBS News, Beijing.
When I got rid of my gray hair, I wanted a really natural look. So I didn't take any chances. I used the sure thing for a natural look, called Just for Men.
Simply apply Just for Men, and in 5 minutes, rinse. It's specially timed to blend away the gray. Bring back the look of your own natural color as it conditions your hair.
With 5 Minute Just for Men, this natural look is a sure thing.
5 Minute Just for Men, the sure thing for a natural look.
I used to think lotions are just lotions. What's the difference? Not anymore. Jergens has created 6 different ways to moisturize your skin. One was made just for me.
Ultra Healing is for me. My skin is so dry, I need fast, long-lasting relief.
All my skin really needs is light care with aloe. It absorbs quickly and it keeps my skin healthy looking.
And me, I use Dual Healing Cream because I need something extra to help heal my rough, dry spots. So what's the Jergens difference? Now you can choose skincare that's right for you.
All right, let's stop it off here.
The coffee perking in this pot is America's best-loved coffee.
Just as long as fathers dance with daughters. As long as there are welcome mats. And childhood sweethearts. Just as long as families come together, Maxwell House will always be good to the last drop.
Well, some people have always defended Britain's royal family as a vital natural resource. Some, of course, see them as a national embarrassment. But in any case, this week, a real natural resource, gold, was found in the Queen's estate in Scotland. And that's not the end of it. Now they're looking for black gold under another royal residence, and Cindy Kennard has that story.
At what temperature do these cameras freeze up?
This week, Prince Charles hoped maybe weather could stop persistent attention given to the media-battered royal family. But it didn't on the slopes, and it didn't back home, where there was a gusher of a story. British television was reporting a wildcatter got the final go-ahead to drill for oil under Windsor Castle, the Queen's favorite weekend home.
Wouldn't be at all like Dallas at the Palace. I hope to find oil here, and I'd like the people of Windsor to be as proud of having a big oil field under their city as they are of having a big castle above it.
The Queen had given permission to sink a test well in her garden after seismic studies revealed she could be sitting on 100 million barrels of oil worth billions. It's a bonanza some would just as soon forget.
How would you feel if, say, Exxon applied for a license to extract oil in the battlefield of Gettysburg, a national monument of that nature? I imagine the whole of America would be in uproar.
Drilling won't start until August, but there have been some slick images on the television suggesting what a royal oil field would do to the neighborhood. Back in the old days when Queen Victoria lived in the castle, she had a saying when the going got rough, which is making a comeback with the locals here. We are not amused.
I don't like it. Not one bit. It's part of our heritage, and I think it's a pity.
The Queen won't be getting any richer from all of this. Cash from an oil find would go to the Treasury. As for tradition, well, one of the old glories of English heritage may soon be taking on the look and feel of a boomtown in Texas. Cindy Kennard, CBS News, Windsor.
And that's the news. Tomorrow on Sunday Morning with Charles Osgood, Preserving America's Player Pianos, a low-tech piece of our musical heritage. Then on Face the Nation, an interview with Vice President Al Gore. I'm Bob Schieffer, CBS News in New York. Good night.
Experience CBS News.
Freshman sensation Felipe Lopez leads St. John's against Connecticut tomorrow on CBS.
This is CBS.